But they're off. They're racing. They've gone for the first. They've gone without horse number 12, Mustafida, as they make their way through the early stages of this Open Fillies contest. Good pace from Barriat Aloja, one of the outsiders, up towards the inside rail. Flashing good speed is Ala Shoraya. So it's Ala Shoraya that leads to Kanajer, who's racing in second. Thawari right up the inner. Najmat Al Mahafil is relatively prominent as well, one of the more fancied runners in the field, as they make their way round the turn in this 1200-metre contest towards the rear of the field at the moment. Tatalat was a slow starter. Monte Keba is also a long way back, and Tarabot is in mid-division at the moment, but making a little bit of headway. Starting to make the turn for home. Al Hasharai has got a train to catch here. 4 or 5 lengths to the good over Kanajer, who's racing in second. Then in third position, Awijan, who's trying to stay on there, and the black Najmat Al Mahafil is racing in fourth. Tarabot is out and looking to set down the centre of the track, but she's got plenty to do from there. Al Hasharai is the leader as they're going towards the closing stages. To Tarabot, who is now getting going. Awijan's on the scene as well, but it's Tarabot down the centre of the track, and here comes Lajal Thati as well on the scene late, and it's Lajal Thati going on. Lajal Thati is going to beat Tarabot. It's going to be tight for third. But meters, gates back and away they go. They're racing Mukatil quite slowly away on racecourse debut. Good start from the reserve, Tawaka Al Sahib, who goes into a good early posse, as indeed does Shafa Al Hezam, getting across from stall 6 to try and bag the rail as they make their way through the early stages. Also prominent there is Iris Di Vialet. Another one who's up with the pace is Shabla Bare as they make their way through the early stages, still towards the back of the field. Well, Namus de Monlau is right at the back, and also towards the back of the field is Mukatil as they start to make the turn. 27.15 seconds for the first 400 metres. Right round the outside now is Montfard looking to get involved in this as they make the turn. To up the inside though, Shafa Al-Ezam. Then in between the pair towards the outside we have Sarjan Al-Khaladir, who's still relatively prominent, and also Iris de Vialet, who's trying to sneak round the inside. Levelling up for home, Naif Al-Anazi took a little look round there, and he goes on by a length or so, but here also trying to stay on a little bit from the back of the field is Sarjan Al-Khaladir, and Iris de Vialet hasn't given up down on the rail either, but it's the favourite Shafa Al-Izam that leads, but just looking a little bit, and it's Iris de Vialet in the hands of Abdulaziz Al-Faredi, who now goes on by a length or two. The favourite's just looking still away from the rail and is losing ground in the process and racing up towards the line. Iris de Vialet has won it. They're off and racing. Leyoun Mashael was quite slowly away, very awkward from the gates as well. Bint Al Ajwad, as indeed was Aldaflar, who's been shunted right back to the rear of the field in the early stages of this 1400-metre contest. Gashamar has pressed on, so too Makatib. Camilo Ospina in his usual posse there, not too far away from the front or indeed the rail. Mokhtamar is racing in third. Leyoun Mashael has made up ground after that tardy start. They're then followed by Bint Al Ajwad, another one who was quite slowly away, but has now been rushed up to try and attain a posse. Still towards the rear of the field, Aldaflar's got loads to do from there. Barker Al-Jahara's towards the rear of the field, so too Al-Horja as they make the turn and start this sweeping bend. It's Gashamar and Wigberto Ramos out in front, now by a couple of lengths to Makatib, who's taken the trail in second. Mokhtamar is racing in third, the white cap, followed then in fourth position by Bint Al Ajwad. Leyoun Mashael is trying to improve up the inside as they start to make the turn for home and level up to the judge. It's Gashamar who's gone well on the sharp end so far, to Makatib, who's now being driven along by Ospina in second. Mokhtamar is in third. Leyoun Mashael is trying to stay on. Nothing doing from Aldaflar, who is getting going now, but so much to do from there. Inside the closing stages, it's Gashamar and veteran Panamanian jockey Wigberto Ramos, who continues to lead, but Makatib and Camilo Ospina getting closer with every stride, and Makatib has reeled him in here. Makatib is going to go on, flashing home as well Aldaflar, but it's Makatib. Ready it off. They are racing and heading through the early stages. A good start from Red and Blue Candy. Actually, the red colours there with the sheepskin noseband pushes on, and Pretty Flag has got out pretty well as well. So the two that are towards the head of the international markets, towards the head of the race in the early stages. Unagi is also prominent. Sana Noura is up the inside rail. One that's trying to cut across is Bojink from the outside. Another one is Not Even Close, who gets into a reasonable good position as well. And it's Bojink that goes on there in the garish headgear to, in second position, Not Even Close. And then pushing on right up the inside there is Unagi in the blue and white colours. They're then followed by Pretty Flag, who's got a nice posse there, the green sleeves in fourth. Then Red and Blue Candy's got a nice position as well, the red colours. Then right up the inside rail is Sana Noura. Back of the field at the moment, Miss Helen, and right at the rear is Sahayeb Al Falah as they start to make the turn here. 800 metres in 49.38 seconds. Not Even Close, the leader, to Unagi up the inside in second. Look at this Pretty Flag making really good headway around the outside. Then we've got Red and Blue Candy, who's just being nudged along. Then after that, towards the inside, the black cap of Sana Noura. The rest have all got a bit of work to do. Starting to make the turn for home. Unagi has now been passed by Not Even Close. But here, taking aim on the outside, is Pretty Flag, who saunters into the lead. Pretty Flag, the leader, to Unagi and Not Even Close. Then Red and Blue Candy, followed then in fifth position by Sana Noura. Nothing much doing from the back and racing deep inside the final furlong and a half here. Look at this Pretty Flag going further and further clear. Pretty Flag by 5 or 6 lengths. Red and Blue Candy has run an honourable race in second, but Pretty Flag has given them a bit of a shellacking here in race number 4. Pretty Flag, the winner. Gates back and away they go. Very slowly away with Sehef Al Tahadi, as missed a hole, lost a whole lot of lengths at the start. Another very slow starter was Dinar Al Anaya. So one or two sloppy beginnings. Good early speed comes from Mokhtahem. That's showing up well in the early stages. Tayeb is also prominent, green and white colours there. Towards the inside, Dadan in the cross-belted jacket. Another one in green colours there with a green cap is prominent. Just in behind them is Julani as they make their way through the early stages of this contest. Looking for Al Wahif. Well, that one is now making a bit of headway into around about fourth position at the moment. And Al Muthia, the 12, seems to be covering every move. So they make their way down towards the end of the back straight. And on the near side in front is Mokhtar, who leads in the hands of Tariq Al Mansour. So in second position, Dadan in the cross belts up the inside. Then towards the outer in third is Al Wahif, who's now making good headway in the green with the white braces there. Also still prominent in the run is Tayeb, right round the outside now, trying to make a bit of headway. Is Yaktase, who's getting into this as well from a very, very wide gate as they start to make the swing for home. And it's Motakem who leads them. Here now comes Al Wahif moving into a pretty good position round the outside, being asked a question or two. The 18, Yaktase, looks the danger down the centre of the track now. Staying on is Al Mu'tazer from the back as well. But as they go towards the closing stages, out in front is Al Wahif by length and a half or so, but still staying very well is Yaktase. These two have now paired off, Al Wahif and Yaktase. Al Wahif just, Yaktase though hasn't gone away and continues to close, but Al Wahif finding a bit more out in front, and it's Al Wahif by 3/4 by 1. Al Wahif the winning. They're off and racing now, away for the custodian, the 2 Holy Mosque Cups for apprentice jockeys, and rather slowly away was Sahuk. Lost plenty of lengths at the start as they make their way through the early stages. Abu Sheikha is one of the early leaders. Also there in a prominent position early is Segar, as indeed is Taj Alelia. That one pushes forward into a prominent posse too. White distinguishing cap of Al-Jamani, I should say, towards the outside, and then even further out is Modder. But like I said before, there's plenty of time to take up a posse here. Towards the rear of the field, Ajaba Thom is just about the back marker now. Also towards the back is the slow starting Sahuk, and another one that's got quite a few in front and not many behind is Newton, as they sort themselves out and head on through the first 400 metres or so. And towards the outside, it's Abu Shekhar that leads them to, in second position, Taj Al Elia, who's travelling really quite strongly, taking a bit of a hold actually. Towards the inside now, Segar is just about going on to lead them. So it's Segar that leads. Hathaf is also prominent there in that rather bright green jacket. Abu Shekhar makes a line of three. Interesting that Taj Al Elia has just been taken back now in fourth and just being driven along as well. Up the inside, Newton's making a little bit of headway. So too is Najabat Alays in the black cap there, distinguishing white cap of Al Jamani. Field trailing back to the likes of Mikdam Alays, who's struggling. Also towards the back, Had Al Gamam, starting to make the turn for home. And it's the orange colours of Abu Shekhar that's just about the leader. Burrowing through on the inside is Segar and not giving up the rail too easily. Then in third, Hathaf, who's now being driven along. Not a huge amount from Taj Al Elia, who's trying to stay on but not finding a great deal. Al Jamani turns wide, as indeed does owner mate Najabat Alays. Down the lane they come. Final 2 furlongs and inside them now. And it's Abu Shekhar the grey who's hit the front. Here comes Najabat Alays down the centre of the track though, making up ground hand over fist. And Al Jamani's not out of this either. And neither too is Taj Al Elia, who's getting going late as well. But they've still all got to get to this leader. It's Abu Shekhar who's leading as they get to the wire. The margin is diminishing, but Abu Shekhar's going to get in. Off they go, they're racing for the custodian of the 2 Holy Mosques Cup for local bred horses, and slowly away was Jabba Allah, often played late in his races, will have to be here. Also quite slowly away was Marsoum Al Naif as they make their way through the early stages of this 1800 metre contest. Wakeda is prominent, so too Ibn Toulon in the grey colours towards the right as we look at them at the moment. They're then followed by Hey Nabaha, who's got quite a prominent posse as well. Just looking for Leila Doro, sitting at around about 6th or 7th at the moment. Camilo Ospina there in the sheepskin noseband with a decent posse. Also prominent in the run is Jawa Al Riyadh, who's forcing forward. December has moved into quite a prominent position early as well. Then towards the outside, Adarte is going forward but quite wide to do so. They're then followed by Izdajar in the red cap, the white distinguishing red stable cap there of Tarzim, is then followed towards the inside by Yazdad Haybar. Towards the back of the field at the moment, Intergene has got plenty to do. Starting to make the turn though, and it's Medbast now, the maroon colours that comes through to just about take things up. So it's Medbast leading them at the moment, to Ibn Toulon up the inside in second. They're then followed in third by Leila Doro, who is now making headway as they start to make the swing. They're followed towards the outside by Jawa Al Riyadh, who's trying to get going as well. Leila Doro takes aim. Here comes December though, looping the field like he did last time. So it's Leila Doro, December, Ibn Toulon. That's the first 4 at the moment, followed then by Medbas in fourth, but it's Leila Doro that's hit the front. December throws down the challenge down the centre of the track. Ibn Toulon is trying to box on. They're then followed by Hey Nabar, who's racing in fourth, but inside the closing stages they go. Final furlong and a half, and it's Leila Doro. Ibn Toulon is boxing on gamely over on the far side, but it's Leila Doro and Camilo Ospina for the white stable, still leading by about half a length. Needs the line though. Ibn Toulon is finishing very strongly, and it's Ibn Toulon up the inside to win. Away they go. They are racing for the custodian of the 2 Holy Mosques Saudi Cup contest over the 1800 metres. An early pace comes from Myanmar, one of the white stable runners to go and break the line. Also there is Mazuna, the white distinguishing cap for Holly Doyle, in a distinctive style there at the head of affairs. Final destination is also up for them as well. Al Moom Gate was slow from the gate, Madness at the back of the field at the moment. Pin Your Hopes towards the rear, and also Boundless Ocean. But there's a right old charge going on here as they make their way down towards the turn out of the back straight. Wide and prominent is See the Casper. Scotland Yard, the yellow distinguishing cap, is also prominent. Yatarez is up the inside there, racing in third spot. Also there, not too far away, is Holly Doyle with the white cap there aboard Mazuna. On that one's outside, getting a little bit closer now. We've got Power in Numbers, who moves into a good posse as well. So they're still 4 or 5 abreast as they make their way around the turn. It's Wootton Sun who's also come through to just about lead. So it's Wootton Sun that leads to Yatarez in second. Doyle now pushing along aboard Mazuna. Then towards the outside, Power in Numbers continues to make nice headway. And right round the outer comes last year's winner, Scotland Yard, who strolls into the lead. So it's Scotland Yard, Power in Numbers. These two now just threatening to pair off a little bit. To Wootton Sun, who races in third but looks a bit tired. Then Yatarez in fourth, trying to stay on from the back of the field. There is Derivo, who's also got a good record in this race. They swing for home. It's last year's winner, Scotland Yard, that leads them at the moment, to Power in Numbers in second. Then Derivo in third position. Staying on is Pin Your Hopes, who was way off the pace in the early stages. That's a part of the race now, and it's still Scotland Yard just to in second position. Power in Numbers. Scotland Yard trying to back up in this race and punch his ticket to the Saudi Cup, but he doesn't seem to fancy it. Power in Numbers over on the far side is beginning to get up. Power in Numbers, Scotland Yard, Power in Numbers. They're off and racing for the Al Dareya Cup. Lua Athbar was very slowly away. Nice beginning by Sulam Al Khaladir and also by Hamdani Khaled Al Khaladir. And it's Hamdani Khaled Al Khaladir, the black cap there, who's just locking on a little bit here with Saloum Al Khaladir. In the end, Saloum Al Khaladir has gone on. Hamdani Khaled Al Khaladir going to take a bit of a trailing posse. Then Lua Athbar, who's also prominent. Alongside that, the orange jacket of Zalij Al Sham. They're then followed towards the outside by Hashem. That's your leading cluster as they head on through the early stages. Another one that's in mid-division at the moment is Gasham Sham Al Jazra. That's the 5 horse who's just gone back, just taken back a little bit now. Jamran Al Khaladir is racing in around about 6 spots at the moment and just trying to get a better position a bit closer to that rail. The 14 there moving into 5th spot. Then towards the inside we've got Fakir Depoy, who's just making a little bit of headway there. The black and red colours with the red headgear. Going back towards the rear of the field at the moment, Tai Al Mashna is one of the back markers. Also Shamik Gouda has got a bit to do from its current position. So they make their way towards the end of the back straight, and it's Saloum Al Khaladir that leads them. The Hamdani Khaled Al Khaladir who races in second. Fakir Dupoy and Al Muzan are now trying to advance their positions right up the rail. They're then followed towards the outer by Jamran Al Khaladir. Then towards the outer, Lua Athbar is now just being driven along. They go through the 800 metres in 1:20.27 seconds, and it's Hamdani Khaled Al Khaladir to Saloum Al Khaladir. They've been I wouldn't say driving each other mad, but certainly been stride for quite some time now. Al Muzan racing in third. Round the outside is the blue distinguishing cap there of Jamran Al Khaladir. They're starting to swing for home. Whip is drawn aboard Hamdani Khaled Al Khaladir. Salam Al Khaladir is not going down without a battle here. Now staying on into third position is Durgam Athbar from a long way back, and he's beginning to pick them off. But it's Hamdani Khaled Al Khaladir still just about the leader. The Saloum Al Khaladir in second. But have the pair of them softened themselves up? But because here comes Durgam Athbar, who's flying down the centre of the track, and it's Durgam Athbar for Lucas Gaetan and Alexis Moreno going on by a couple of lengths at the line. The race set up beautifully, and this horse was good enough to take full advantage. gates back and away they go. They're racing, and after all that, Motashamek was pretty slowly away as well in this Sports Boulevard Open race. Good early speed from Mustafi in the first furlong or so. Also prominent is in Baha. The 10 horse has gone forward as well. Haas in the green white stable cap colours. That's the horse racing there in third at the moment. The fourth is Tahadi in the striped jacket. Then up the inside rail is Neazi, who's got a pretty good posse as well. Those towards the outer, Foz later, that one's prominent, and Al Metan is also up at the pace as well, and just being nudged along to try and maintain that posse. Towards the back of the field at the moment, Sad Alays is right at the back, and not too far in front of that one is Ahmadi as they make their way down towards the turn out of the back straight. In Baha up the inside, just about the leader. Dahas, who races in second. Mustafi, one of the outsiders, is in between horses. Then Tahadi's turned 4 horses wide. Then towards the outside, Al Metan is now just being nudged along, and 6 wide is Foza later, starting to make the swing for home, and none goes better than this leader in Baha, lobbing along up the inside rail, goes on by about 2.5 lengths, coming via the cape is Foza later, but is now trying to stay on there, then followed by Tahadi, who's in third. Bit of a gap back to Al Metan and the rest. They've swung for home now, and it's in Baha, who often appears here in Riyadh, and indeed Tape, who's now clear by a couple of lengths to Foza later in second. Tahadi's trying to stay on the sheepskin noseband towards the centre of the track. Then after that, Neazi, but this leader's just beginning to get a bit errant out in front now, is hanging towards the centre and away from the rail. It's in Baha, the leader. Here comes Foza later from the back of the field. In Baha and Foza later as the race up towards the line. In Baha gets in. They go, they're racing. Looked like a pretty good line. Slightly slowly away, Al Marian from its wide draw there towards the extreme left of camera shot as they make their way through the early stages. Pepperoni Pete was quite slowly away as well through the first furlong or so, and the lead is with Yes More Rich in those in that bright set of blinkers. Also prominent is Paradise Row pressing on. Talladega is also in the front rank as well. That's your leading trio. They're then followed towards the left by Here Is the Map. Wiggy's taken up a decent posse on that one. Then Wait to Excel in the yellow and black colours. Magisterial is also prominent, but like quite a few of the races this evening, there's a bun fight to the first turn. They're 5 or 6 wide here as they go through the first 800 or so. So the lead, Talladega, just about with it at the moment, but here towards the near side as we look at them, Paradise Row, and then right up the inner is also prominent there is Talladega. Then right round the outside getting involved, Here Is the Map, and then even further to the outside is Wait to Excel, 4 or 5 wide in this early part of the race. So they make their way round the turn, and towards the left now in the yellow and black is Wait to Excel, to a slightly driven along Here Is the Map, who's in second. Then Talladega up the inside rail there in third, followed then in fourth spot by Billy Batts, who's trying to get involved as well. Paradise Row, having got into a good position early, is now beginning to flounder as they make the turn for home. This Wait to Excel for Mohammed Al Daham has shot clear. Wait to Excel, the leader, trying to battle back though. Here Is the Map, and is just eating into that advantage a little bit. They're a long way clear of the rest, headed by Billy Batts, staying on really strongly from the back as well as Vindicate. But as they make their way inside the closing stages, it's Wait to Excel. Can Wiggy reel this one in aboard Here Is the Map? Wait to Excel needs the line. Here Is the Map, those not finding enough in the latter stages and racing up towards the line. Wait to Excel has won it. Say they're off and racing. They've gone without Bugatti. in the final race on the card, this Howden handicap. And as they make their way through the early stages, Mashmook is one of the first to show, so too Noor Alelia. Also prominent is Ursula, who gets into a decent position as well as they make their way through the first furlong and a half or so. Another one who's up with the early gallop is Al Najm Al Kaseb in the blue colours as they head on down the far side of the track towards the rear of the field at the moment. Kalalat Delmon is near the back. Also towards the back of the field is Faray as they make their way onto the racecourse proper. Ibn Abad is now pressing on into a prominent posse, so too is Mashmook. Another one that's up with the pace is Tabayea in the grey sleeves there, the sheepskin moustache and sideburns. Then right up the inside is Wash Awela, that's in the green colours, and then after that one on the outside is Al Najm Al Kaseb in the hands of Mohammed Al Yami as they make their way towards the end of the back straight. Towards the outside, Noor Alelia is going to produce a challenge rather wide, and similar comments could apply to Moata Seymar as they head towards the end of the back straight. It's quite a well grouped up field here. Having said that, one that's going back through the field is Kalalat Delmon. That's right at the back. Also towards the rear is Sanuja. But the leader, as they begin to make the turn for home, is Tabayea to Mashmook on the outside in second. 1,200 metres in 1 minute 15.66 seconds. They're then followed in third by Washer Waller, the yellow cap in fourth. Then after that, in fifth position, towards the outside is Akun Noof now getting involved in this as well as they start to make the turn for home, and they've levelled up and now await the judge. It's Tabayea out in front to Mashmook, who's now just beginning to look a bit tired in second. Then Wesher Waller, who's in third down the centre of the track. This little trio have just gone on from the rest. They're now headed by Barak Alanea, who's trying to stay on. Over on the far side, it's Tabayea that leads. Battling on, though, is Mashmook, who's been prominent throughout. Then Washer Waller down the centre of the track, but is running rather errantly, and still staying on from the rear of the field is Barak Alanea, and beginning to get up. Barak Alanea from a different part of the Arabian Peninsula to win. Barak Alanea the winner.